You can pout and miss out, or you can get what you get and like it. Hey, hi, I'm Angel. Thanks for stopping by. I'm driving home after a pretty relaxing and non-relaxing, intense and non-intense long weekend. From Thursday to Wednesday. Is that a weekend? I don't know. It's pretty much a week, isn't it? Anyway, I'm on my way home after a long stint away from home. And I'm thinking about how there's always that choice between pouting and missing out or getting what you get and liking it. And I think I do a pretty good job most of the time of liking what I'm getting, and getting what I like works out pretty well that way. And sometimes, though, I get what I don't like, and the temptation is there to pout. Only if you pout about what you're getting, you're just going to miss out on the next thing. This is what I've discovered. The best thing is, if you're not getting what you like, to just let that pass, let it go by. It doesn't mean ignore it exactly. It doesn't mean pretend like it's not happening exactly, but very, very close to that. Because it means focus on what you like. Focus on what you want to get. Focus on getting ready for what you want to be ready for, and not focusing on those details that aren't lining up exactly the way you want them to. And sometimes that's subtle and slight and really easy, and other times it's quite challenging, because we all have our various triggers, our various filters, and when you get triggered emotionally, it's easy to fall into an old loop. That's what I mean by triggered, basically. Some people call it PTSD, whatever. Labels are just that, labels that point at things, like all words. But the point is that if you're having an emotional reaction which doesn't feel good, that's an opportunity to recognize that and decide not to focus on that. And obviously that's easier said than done in most cases. Like, I think our current society, our current state, the norm often, and my old norm, I will just say, speaking for myself, regardless of what society says, in the past, I have often, even fairly recently, and probably will again, reacted to something that I didn't like by way of pouting about it, or crying about it, or withdrawing, trying to kind of think about how unfair it is, or how I wish it wasn't that way. Maybe even blaming someone else or myself for the current conditions. However, what I've found is that very rarely, if even ever, does anyone any good. What does do good is to use that contrast, to realize in that contrast that, hey, this isn't my favorite. I'm going to focus on my favorite. I am here for my favorites. And when I do that, it's amazing how quickly we can shift from a little glimmer of something we don't like back into everything great, or conversely, a little glimmer of something we don't like down into the rabbit hole of shititude. I've been there. I know you've been there too. I think all of us have. My point is, it's a choice. And even if it seems like it's beyond your control and you don't have a choice because you're triggered, and believe me, you're not alone if you've been triggered and feeling out of control. I've written a few songs about it because it's true. We all sometimes feel out of control. We all get triggered from past experiences that have left a trigger on us, where our body reacts to a certain scenario as if it's the same as a scenario that happened in the past. And when it gets really out of control and really debilitating, then we call it PTSD. However, I really think through having dealt with a lot of those feelings that it really comes down to choosing. It really comes down to a choice. And the more I train myself, build momentum by way of choosing to let shit go. And it literally just is that. It's not like there's a resolve. It's not like there's a great answer. It's not like I do flip the switch, but where I flip the switch is just turn that off, focus on what I want. If I find my brain, and at night especially, it's particularly hard for me, challenging, opportunistic. It's particularly challenging for me at night when there's no noise, nothing, no input coming in. And when I wake up, these are the times when I find I have the most challenge in this, is my brain will glom on, start to focus on a little thought pattern. And maybe it's because I'm sleepy, I don't know, but I have sometimes a harder time realizing that that's what I'm doing, although as I practice, it's getting easier and easier. And once I realize whether I'm awake or asleep or just woke up, I don't know if I do I'm asleep exactly yet. Maybe I will in the future. But whether I'm awake or I just woke up and I'm still kind of half asleep and groggy, which is often the case in my case, that was 2 cases. If I am sure that I care more about how I feel, more about being positive and good than on ruminating on any kind of BS, the thing about negative thoughts is I think our brain often tries to convince us that through mulling this over, ruminating over this, we might come to some conclusion. At least in my brain. My brain will have imaginary conversations with other people and myself for hours if I don't stop it. Sometimes even when I try to stop it, it can go on for hours, keeping me from really falling into a deep sleep, keeping me from really enjoying my scenario. It doesn't happen nearly as often in my waking hours anymore, although it used to, and it sometimes still does. But it still happens to me in those just woke up hours, or in between the sleep and the wake. And what I'm finding is the more I practice just flipping the switch on it, just saying no. You know what, brain? You can't do anything about that right now. And so let's not think about it right now. And shifting my attention back to getting good sleep, or shifting my attention back to just feeling good, however that is, whatever I need to do to bring that about, whether it's, maybe I need to get up and pee, maybe I need to drink some water, maybe I need to get up and write, maybe I need to just close my eyes and think of a pretty color. Whatever it is, if I can get my mind off of that pattern, that old non-productive pattern of ruminating about what I think is wrong, then I can either get back to sleep or get back to focusing on positive. And most critically, the thing I'm really trying to get across about that is that when I'm holding myself in that positive, strong, self-reliant, everything is okay vibration, things go a lot better. People like me better. People meet me in a better place because I'm in a better place. Whereas opposed to if I let myself spiral down the negativity rabbit hole, I've had people meet me in some pretty dark, I was going to say despicable because that starts with a D, like dark. I'm not sure it's despicable, although at times it is. Anyways, depressing, dark, derogatory, debilitating even states of mind. And that's not where I want to be. Where I want to be is in the positive. I'm hoping I didn't pass my turn. I'm looking out for Colfax. I was talking to you on the camera, getting distracted, and now I'm wondering if I didn't pass my turn. Anyway, it's all good either way. Only I got somebody waiting on me, so I hope I didn't. Back to the point. You got to focus on the positive. You got to make the best out of where you are with what you got. And as long as you're doing that, and a lot of times it just means getting to sleep, then things work out the best they can. That's my 2 cents for right now. I hope you are staying positive, letting go of the negative, and savoring the flavor of all of it along the way. And until next time, I wish you peace, prosperity, positivity, possibilities, and playfulness. Ciao.